Well, it's that time, guys. We are heading out of Venice tomorrow. So I washed the car 2 days ago, so obviously we're gonna wash it again because it's literally already filthy because of all the dust from that. Anyways, gorgeous sunset. We're gonna wash the car and then we'll be up at like 6 a.m. to hit the road. So yeah, let's get rolling, I guess. I don't know, I'll see you guys at 6 a.m.
When I'm with you, I am able to keep pushing my limits, and all the drive that I have, well, I'm going the distance with you. I didn't know what I had till I knew what was missing and everything that I dread.
Welcome back to the vlog, guys. It is now 7 a.m. We're saying goodbye to RV life and we are heading back to Maryland. Yeah, so adios. Let's hit the road. All right, so first Supercharger is Ocala, Florida. It's gonna be, how long of a drive? That's a great, oh, 2 hours and 21 minutes. And then we have to charge for 45 minutes. I believe that's the outdoor mall that I stopped at in like the middle of the night and did wind sprints on the way down. If you wanna go check out that vlog, that's my 1,000-mile road trip. Anyways, I wanna go in here real quick and we're gonna go trips. And we're gonna go trip A and trip B. Let's reset both of these bad boys so we can get some nice data here. All right, we're officially leaving at 7:11 a.m. We have TezLabs installed. We reset trip A and trip B, and we have Waze running. So I'll see you guys in a couple hours at Ocala. Oh, we also started with 103,007 miles. We've gone, I don't know, we maybe went a half a mile already, but it took to 103,008. So yeah. Anyways, let's roll.
Catch me when I fall, and I'll keep you on the ground.
Well, this is always fun. 20 minutes in and we're already sitting in pretty much standstill traffic. Well, since we're sitting in standstill traffic, I can't reiterate enough. If you're enjoying the content, please like and subscribe, guys. Really appreciate it. We're at like 951, 952, I don't really know. But we're almost to 1,000 subscribers, so I do really appreciate it. Now, another thing I will note real quick is that I think Florida has some of the worst drivers in the country. I don't get it. I've been here for 8 weeks, and in those 8 weeks, almost every single time that I've driven on 75, either north or south, doesn't matter, one direction, at least a lane, if not the whole highway, is shut down due to some sort of like overturned vehicle or something. It's crazy. Wow. Hope everybody's okay. Jeez. I mean, that was bad. But another overturned vehicle. I mean, this is crazy. The amount of overturned vehicles that have happened on 75 where it's been shut down, like I'm surprised that wasn't shut down, honestly. But that looked pretty bad. I hope everybody's okay. Anyways, we're finally back on the road. We're about 40 minutes behind schedule. So yeah, back to the road trip, I guess. Gotta stay below 75 now to reach my destination as well. So that's always fun. Look at the traffic on the other side from Rubbernecking. They also might have shut it down in order to get ambulances going the other way, but sheesh.
Police reported ahead.
Thanks, Waze. Ah, there's the cop. All right, cops coming up on our left here, just slowly creeping by. And there he goes. Looks like he's taking the exit ramp, probably gonna flip a U-E and then hop back in to sit in the median. Yes, we have gotten off the highway. We're just a short, like 1.3 miles from the Ocala Supercharger. I downloaded the TezLab app, so we're gonna crack that open, and I've actually never used it before I looked at it, but yeah, we're gonna see if we can get some efficiency stats for my driving. All right, 14 miles of range left. All right, so we have the TezLab app, if you can kind of see it there. All right, so we start off with 243 miles, we're down to 14 miles. And yeah, how do we see efficiency and stuff? All right, so I went ahead and took a screenshot of this because I'm looking at the stats now. It gives me the last 7 days of data, so that's perfect because obviously we're doing this trip within 24 hours, so we'll have all the data here. But my efficiency for the first part of the trip was 69.33%. Average speed 61.05 miles an hour. Distance tracked 158 miles. So I started with 243 miles of range, and it was only 158 miles. So yeah, needless to say, I like to drive a little, you know, spiritedly, and my efficiency is therefore only about 69%. Gas money saved, $14.06. That's what's up. Supercharger visits 1. Obviously, we're at the Supercharger now. We're in Ocala. So we're just going to keep doing this the whole way home and just see how the efficiency changes, and I'll just throw up different things. So this is a little outdoor town center. I stopped here. I did some wind sprints here in my other video, if you want to check those out. But that one was more sort of a review of the supercharging locations and stuff. This one I'm going to focus on efficiency, I think. So this says 45 minutes until we can head out. It's 9:53. We're gonna see. I feel like I always have to charge longer than this says. However, I do also drive spiritedly, so I like to have extra range so that when I use that extra range, I'm still good and can make it. As you know, I rolled in here with 14 miles left, so and was going kind of slow for the last half hour, 45 minutes. Anyways, 45 minutes, 9:53. So yeah, we'll be back soon. So we're still at the Ocala Supercharger, and remember, I think it was 9:53 when this thing said 45 minutes remaining until I could leave. Well, it's 10:33, which means it's been 40 minutes, and needless to say, we don't have 5 minutes left. We still have 20 minutes. So like, I don't know how this thing, I mean, obviously it says estimated charge time, but that's pretty far off. Everything that, like efficiency, range, charging speeds, time I have to wait, all of it is probably worst case scenario, because all Teslas made now are much better than mine. They have autopilot, they have much probably better batteries, battery management systems, drive units, you know, the Raven drive units, the Model 3, all that stuff. It's all newer than mine. So yeah, mine's rear wheel drive, no autopilot, P85 from 2014 with 103,000 miles on it. So these are all worst case efficiency scenarios, and they're still not bad. I mean, I still don't have to pay for gas. You know, I'm still getting 120 miles of range an hour, 36 kilowatts, but like, yeah, it's pretty full, and to have to wait 20 more minutes, that's kind of crazy. So if I hit continue trip, this at least tells me how many miles I have, so I could sort of figure it out myself if I do feel like leaving. So 140 miles to the next Supercharger, which only gives us a buffer of 25 miles. Yeah, I'd rather have like 60 to 75 miles of buffer because I like to drive spiritedly. Anyways, you could technically leave now and make it. I've done it, and yeah, the range is pretty true on these cars, so that's also another good thing to know. Anyway, also, we're gonna leave trip A for the duration of the entire trip. What we're gonna do now is actually reset trip B, and then yeah, we'll basically have these screen grabs for each one. And 200 miles of range. It's probably been at about an hour, maybe a little bit over an hour later, but we're heading out. So next stop is the Kingsland, is that right? Kingsland, Georgia Supercharger. It's just over the border, I believe, something like that. Anyways, 140 miles, 2 hours, 27 minutes. Should be there at 1:21 p.m. Once again, battery low, 19 miles of range. We are at the Kingsland Supercharger. We just crossed over the Florida to Georgia border. 1:02 p.m. Let's go ahead and pull out the TezLab app. All right, so last time unplugged, 2 hours and 8 minutes, 136.1 miles driven. It looks like we have high efficiency for 15 miles, medium efficiency for 37, and low efficiency for like 129. Sounds about right. Average efficiency 75% this last time. That really brought up my average. This last time was 75% efficient, so obviously much better. Now for all of these trips so far, I've had the fan setting to 1 and the temperature's been between 68 and 72 degrees, just somewhere in there in case you were wondering. I have the radio on. We're doing Slacker radio that comes free with my car, and obviously nav. So yeah, anyways, we're gonna supercharge. It says estimated charge time 35 minutes. This time we are gonna stop at the Savannah, Georgia Supercharger. So if I hit, so let's see, 35 minutes, it's 104, so that should put us at about 140. Probably not gonna be accurate. Continue trip. We only need 102 miles to get there. So, you know, we can sort of build in a little bit of buffer, but it's a much shorter drive. We'll stop there. Last time when I came down, I got like perfect efficiency as far as like range driven, range used. It was almost like perfect parity because I wanted to skip over the Savannah, Georgia stop. However, this time I do not want to do that because I was doing like 60, 65 in like 70 mile per hour traffic with just like tractor trailers blowing by me, and I do not want to do that again. So we're gonna stop in Savannah and we'll see what that charger's like. Ooh, almost forgot the trip details. So far we've used 109.9 kilowatt hours, and yeah, that's trip B. All right, well, our final ETA is 2:40 a.m. I think that came down from 2:45 a.m. We're gonna head out now. We have 157 miles of range, 102 miles to our next destination. We're going Kingsland, Savannah. Let's roll. Waze coming in with that warning. Let's see. Waze, you dirty dog. You knew there was a cop.
Police reported ahead.
Ah, you don't say, Waze. You don't say. The guy flying up in the left lane here. You think he's gonna pull him over? The world may never know. Actually, we will know in about 2 seconds. Nope. He just sat there and let him drive on by. Waze, you dirty dog. You did it again. Well done. All right, so we're hopping off to go to the Savannah Supercharger. As you can see, we're still 2 miles away. So once you get off the highway, you have to drive all the way down that road to basically the airport terminals, is my understanding. Maybe, I don't know. We'll find out, but it's like 2 miles still from the highway. So not super convenient, but you know, I'd rather stop here than like crawl at a snail's pace on the highway with like trucks flying by me, because it's way too unsafe, and I don't like that. So yeah, here's the drive to the airport. I have no idea where we are now.
Your destination will be on the right.
This is annoying. Now I have to get a ticket. What do I have to pay to supercharge here? And this makes no sense. Like I'm so confused. Do I like? It looks like it's all the way on the other side though. Maybe I just like go all the way through here and go back out. Yeah, I literally have no idea. This is why people do not like the Savannah Supercharger, because, well, I don't know. It told me to turn here, and like clearly I shouldn't have turned here. So yeah, I feel like I'm supposed to go like all the way around and then turn right into the Superchargers. Now I have, oh wait, here's the Superchargers. Look at that, they're right there. But I had to get a ticket. All right, so we just want to go across here. And then these are the Superchargers. Battery low as always. And then we have 14 miles of range. What I don't understand here is if you're flying in or out of this airport, you can't like park here, because those Superchargers, don't they start charging you after a certain amount of time? Now what is interesting is there is actually only one other car here, so not as busy as I have heard. That was one of the bad things I heard. It's busy and it takes forever to get to. Like I literally just drove 2 miles off the highway to get here, so it's an extra 4 miles just to come here and then go back to the highway. But anyways, 35 minutes to continue on the trip. We already got a mile back. It is 3:02. All right, so we have trip A and trip B, 148.3 kilowatt hours total, and then this trip was only 38.4. So yeah. All right, let's reset this bad boy. All right, so some TezLab stuff. Let's throw this up on the screen. Kingsland, Georgia to Savannah, Georgia. 71% efficiency, 72. It's warmed up a little bit outside. I did have the AC up a little bit higher, maybe like 4 or 5 fan speed on average. All right, so going into the stats, you can see that we're now at 71.7% efficiency, 66.83 average speed. We've tracked 397 miles for a total of almost 6 hours of driving time, and gas money saved, we were up to 35.15. Yeah, that's all I got. Anyways, another Tesla just pulled in. Oh, I think it's the guy from the Kingsland Supercharger, so I must have passed him. 109 miles to the next stop. 158 miles, so we'll have about 50 miles of buffer. We're leaving at 3:43. Now we got a ticket. I think we just go up there and tell them that we were supercharging, but I don't really know. I hope we don't have to pay, because that would make this even more inconvenient, but we're about to find out.
Right.
Okay, so we are heading back to 95. So when you leave, you hand them the ticket, and then I guess you have to write down your name and phone number, and then Tesla pays for the parking or something like that. So yeah. I don't know. Anyways, we're heading out now, so it's 3:50. Chatted with some friendly guys that were in a white Model 3. I think they're from Ontario, is what they said. But always nice to talk to people. So you know, yeah, makes it a little bit more enjoyable when you're sitting in your car for 45 minutes or something. Anyways, back to 95. Yep, 16 miles, and we are in nice, slow, stop-and-go traffic. This is just so much fun. Luckily, we're only 1.3 miles away from the Supercharger, so we should be golden, but still, you know, it's just like red traffic, but like Supercharger's right there, so we're golden. Guess they're just doing some paving of the highways. Well, once again, 14 miles of range, rolling into the Santee Supercharger. Yeah, battery very low. We're starting to charge at 5:23. Go ahead and dig into the TezLab app. All right, our efficiency is now 72.46 with an average speed of 67.62. That's pretty good. Median power, 402 watt hours per mile. Not bad. Charge time, 2 hours and 19 minutes. Gas money saved, $44.77. All right, so we got the Savannah to Santee trip. Average speed 70.68 miles per hour. Gas money saved 9.63. Range used 144. Distance 108.8. Our efficiency was 75% on average. Not too bad. All right, we can go ahead and reset these as well. So this last trip, 36 kilowatt hours, or sorry, 38.6 kilowatt hours. But overall, we've used 187. 60 kilowatts. That is really low. We're gonna switch superchargers. All right, we should have better luck. You have to be careful. So sometimes it's like 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, like all next to each other. But sometimes, like this one, the first spot is 1A, this is 2A, then you have 3A, 4A, and then you have 1B, 2B, 3B, 4B. So I was actually sharing with somebody else that was already charging first, and therefore I was getting less range, even though like all the Teslas were park spaced out. So I actually had to move right next to this Model X in order to make sure I wasn't on the same charger that somebody else was using. So be mindful of kilowatts, and be mindful of which stalls are like 1A and 2A, because they're gonna share the same like circuit or something. I don't know. Yeah. All right, 201 miles of range. We're finally heading out of here at 6:32. And as always, battery low. We rolled in with 9 miles of range. We got the Supercharger hopefully coming online here momentarily. But yeah, next stop is the Rocky Mount, North Carolina Supercharger. Uh-oh. Unable to DC fast charge / supercharge. Uh-oh. Next option is to switch superchargers. Oh my gosh, this is scaring me. 9 miles. That's all we have. We can't even make it to, I think there's another supercharger 20 miles away. Uh-oh. All right, second time's a charm. Please, 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 please. Whew. Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness. Whew. Okay, so 122 kilowatts, 40 minutes remaining. It says we have to charge for 40 minutes. It is 8:07. We have trip A, trip B. We use 238.2 kilowatts of energy and 51 on this trip for 122 miles. We're gonna go ahead and reset B again. All right, so time for another TezLab update. Santee to Lumberton, here we go. Hour and 28 minutes driving, 122 miles, 458 watt hours per mile, 82.99 miles per hour average speed. I think we went to Mexico for like a little bit of that trip, so that's why the speed was so high. Gas money saved, 10.85. Range used, 191. So we drove 122 miles, used 191 miles of range. Our efficiency was 64%. So the efficiency really drops at higher speeds, which is obviously pretty obvious. Yeah, so there's that. All right, so last 7 days, our efficiency is now 70.70. It went down a little bit, which makes sense. Our average speed is 70.13. And our average speed, yeah, 70.13. Median power, 413 watt hours per mile. That's where we're at. Oh, and gas save, 55.62. We're at 180 miles of range. We have like a little over 60 miles of buffer room. You know, based on my efficiency, around 70%, I think it is. I do want to head out, but it is 9 o'clock. And, well, needless to say, we have 118 miles, almost 2 hours until we get to Rocky Mount. So I think we're going to roll. Honestly, when in doubt, get a Red Bull out because it gives you wings and you'll get to your destination faster. All right, 2 more superchargers, then we should be home, I think, around like 3. Yeah, we've had some traffic. We started off really poorly. We got on the highway, and within like 10-15 minutes, we hit that 45-minute stint of traffic, so that was no bueno. Anyways, we're gonna hit the road. Next stop is Rocky Mount, then north of Richmond, and then hopefully home. Hopefully. Let's roll. Thanks for the recharging, Tesla. Well, this is really gonna kill my average speed. Guess we have probably about 20 minutes of backups here on 95 before Rocky Mount Supercharger, so yeah, a little bit of the delays. Anyways, it's 9:38 p.m. We're expected to be at Rocky Mount at 11:12 p.m. Another hour and 34 minutes to go 74 miles. So, yeah. All right, now seeing as how this vlog is about efficiency and how my example of efficiency is probably worst case scenario, seeing as how I like to drive quite spiritedly, so any like loss of range that I get, aka like the 70% efficiency that I get from point A to point B between superchargers is because of that, and also the fact that I have an older car, 103,000 miles on the odometer, and it is a 6-year-old vehicle at this point. I also want to mention that sitting and stop and go traffic, this doesn't really kill your battery too much, at least if you don't have heat on. So if you have heat going, this will potentially eat some range, but like say we only had 15 miles left and we're still 5 to 10 miles from a supercharger, you don't really have to like start to worry about it because, well, it's pretty efficient when you're just going nice and slow. Just don't hit the accelerator hard. And yeah, as long as you don't have heat on, you should probably be good. Just turn those seat heaters on and dress warmly if you're traveling in really cold weather. That will help you preserve some battery and range if you are in colder climates. Also, just charge more in case you do hit standstill traffic. But otherwise, the efficiency is pretty spot on. If I do drive efficiently, if I drive like, you know, 60 miles an hour, don't ever floor it really, I can pretty much get the exact range that my Tesla says. And obviously there's people out there that get better range than what their Teslas say. So yeah, standstill traffic shouldn't really give you too much range anxiety, especially right now. It's a nice 64 degrees. I think I have the fan speed on pretty low. I have it on 1 and it's set to 70 degrees. So yeah, I'm not really worried about losing any range in this. Plus I have a nice buffer of about 40 miles of range. So I just got out of the traffic. They had closed down the right lane and there was nothing going on yet. And now there have been no cars for the last like 2 or 3 miles. 2 cop cars have literally closed down 95 South. I don't even know what was going on. There's nothing on that side of the highway, but the highway's just dead stop now on 95 South. It looked like they were doing like some construction in the middle of the highway, but like, this is absurd. Once again, so we have our Lumberton to Rocky Mount, 67% efficiency, 56 mile per hour average speed, 177 miles used for 119 miles. Unfortunately, it says estimated time is an hour, which means it's probably going to take more than that. Very cool. Trip A and B. Total, we've used 286 kilowatt hours for 748 miles. Trip B, you know the drill. Whew, 192 miles of range.
Now turn right on to Curtis Ellis Drive.
132 miles to our next destination. 12:18 in the morning, a little tired. Luckily, the wonderful, friendly people at the Doubletree Hotel let me use the restroom there.
Now turn right on
yeah,
to North Winston
pretty much
Avenue.
everything is closed. So yeah, that's no fun. I don't even know if you guys can see me right now. Anyways, we're off to our last Supercharger. As always, battery low, estimated time 35 minutes, and now we wait. We got the final trips here before, well, I guess the final trip before this last trip, if that makes sense. So we're gonna go ahead and reset this last trip B again. We've done 879.6 miles, 335 kilowatt hours of energy. Not bad. Okay, super tired at this point. If we go to stats, it looks like our efficiency is 70.70% with an average speed of 68.38. Driving time 12 hours and 51 minutes. Charge time 5 hours and 20 minutes. Gas money saved 77.78. Not too shabby. We still have one final leg of the trip. So 117 miles left. That is not too shabby. All right, so I'm just gonna throw this somewhere random in the video, but 2 things I thought of for efficiency. One is don't be afraid to take your car out of autopilot or off of cruise control, and the reason is autopilot can't always fully take advantage of like inclines and declines, whereas you can. So like if you're going down a hill, you can use that to give it a little bit more throttle, but really not use that much energy and maintain or build up a little bit of speed, and then you can always coast up a hill before getting back on the accelerator pedal a little bit, maybe when it flattens out or starts to become a decline again, and therefore improve potential range and not use as much energy when going up a hill. Whereas autopilot will try to like maintain a certain speed or follow behind somebody, and it may use extra energy if it's going up a hill trying to do so. Now the second thing is always go to the furthest supercharging station. The reason for this is that if your battery's at a lower state of charge, you can charge faster. So if you go the extra 40 miles to the next possible further supercharging station that's on your trip still, it allows you to replenish those extra 40 miles that you were going to drive anyways faster than if you had sort of stopped earlier, if that makes sense. So always go to the furthest supercharging station. that's definitely a big thing that I figured out, especially going down to Florida. It was always, you know, make it count. But you know, it doesn't really matter. Obviously, your car plans it all out for you. But yeah, going to the Furthest supercharging station, that is a little extra tip. Well, it's 2:25 in the morning, and well, we have 117 miles left, but we only have 98 miles on the Tesla. So yeah, we're gonna be here for a little bit. It says I'm gonna get home with negative 17% battery. So yeah, I'll probably be here for at least another 30-35 minutes. I know it said 35 minutes, I think, but it's always longer. That's never right. I've noticed that. Maybe it is on newer cars. I don't know. Maybe my car tapers off too quickly because it's older at this point. But I definitely need to do a comparison on how quickly my car charges. Anyways, once we get home, I'm probably gonna crash. So we're gonna finish this vlog right in the morning. I'll just go over everything, the overall trip efficiency with the TezLab app, and yeah. But if you're enjoying the content, please like and subscribe. Anyways, see you guys in the morning. Or probably afternoon, because it's gonna be like 4:35 when I get home, and yeah, I'm definitely gonna sleep in. Anyways, see you guys soon. Guys, finally we are home. I believe the trip was 997 miles, so just shy of 1,000, but let's just call it 1,000 because that's much easier. Anyways, we're gonna dig into the TezLab app here because it tracks your efficiency. It's actually very nice. So it's a free app. There's a pro version, but the free version just does like the last 7 days. So it's like a 7-day rolling history. So yeah, we basically have all the trip information in here. We have overall stats and all of that good stuff. But the final trip from Glen Allen Supercharger to my house, it was I guess around 117.4 miles. We used 156.2 miles of range, 392.6 watt hours per mile, average speed 77.53 miles an hour, and took an hour and 30 minutes. Now the efficiency for this trip was 75% efficiency, and the most efficient sector was 82%. And the least efficient was 64%, so not terrible. Everything in here right now is the trip home. So the distance tracked was 997 miles. My average speed was 69.35 miles an hour. My efficiency for the whole trip, 71.17%. So not terrible. You know, I like to drive a little quickly. Also, the speed limit is pretty much 70 the majority of the drive, which is going to be less efficient. So I think your most efficient is around like 60-65 miles an hour, maybe somewhere in that range. When you start going over that, you can lose efficiencies trying to maintain like a higher speed. Obviously you get the you get drag and stuff like that, whatever. So 71.17% efficiency. My car is now over 104,000 miles on the odometer. That's right, 104,004 miles. So this efficiency is from a 6-year-old car. It's a 2014 Model S P85. So I'm only one drive unit. It's rear wheel drive only, not even all wheel drive. 85 kilowatt hour battery with 104,000 miles on it. So this is just kind of like a baseline of probably like some of the least efficient driving you can probably do in a Tesla these days, seeing as how my car is much older, 85 kilowatt hour battery only, and 104,000 miles. So all of those factors coming into play, getting 71.17% efficiency, not terrible. So let's see, if we go into here, we can see driving time, 14 hours and 22 minutes. Now the charge time, you're gonna have to ignore that. It's a little skewed because I plugged in at my house and it's counted that for the last 7 days, obviously. Now, since I've gotten home, I haven't done much driving, so the driving time is pretty much all driving between Florida and here, I believe. I was in, I think, probably about 2 hours worth of traffic, like really slow traffic. So I guess if that's maybe like added an hour and a half to my trip of driving time. Something in that range. The real interesting thing is how much would that have cost to supercharge? She's back, she's nice and clean. We washed her. The windshield was disgusting. The front bumper was even more disgusting. And well, the bugs, terrible. Well, that just about sums up my trip. Just over 70% efficiency for around 1,000 miles. You know, it's fantastic having the Supercharger network. It does make it quite easy. You just plug in your nav and the Tesla tells you exactly where to stop, for how long, which isn't always as accurate. Well, I also like to give myself some buffer room, so maybe it is kind of accurate and I just know that I need more. I don't know. Either way, you know, fairly easy trip home, except for the traffic, which made it a little bit longer. But yeah, I think it took me close to 22 hours, 21 hours, something like that. It took a pretty long time. But we are home now and just running some errands now that we're back. Also should probably potentially start looking for jobs, maybe. If you haven't seen older vlogs, I'm currently unemployed. Startup ran out of money, got laid off, whatever. Point being, if you guys are enjoying the content, please hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, give this video a like, and until next time, thanks for watching.